Welcome to Studio Movie Recap. Ready for another quick rundown of an awesome movie? Let's dive right in, and if you enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe for more recaps. Sister Mary, a young nun, prays and patiently waits for the Mother Superior to fall asleep so she can take her keys. She rushes toward the church exit but is spotted, leading to a chase by the convent members. If she can't open the gate, she'll try to squeeze through the bars to escape. Unfortunately, one of the members grabs her leg and breaks it. Overwhelmed by the pain, she loses consciousness, only to awaken trapped in a buried coffin, desperately screaming for help. After this, a police officer interrogates Sister Cecilia, warmly greeting her and welcoming her to Italy, wishing her luck on her journey to becoming a nun. Sister Cecilia is greeted at the airport by Deacon, who then escorts her to the church. She arrives at a special convent dedicated to caring for dying nuns. Isabel, another sister, warmly welcomes her and gives her a tour. However, Sister Isabel seems irritated by her presence and suggests she leave before she changes her mind, but Cecilia is already determined. In the bathroom, Cecilia meets Gwen, her sister, who apologizes for intruding and suggests locking the door next time, as she had just finished smoking a cigarette. Cecilia readies herself for the solemn ceremony, where she will make her vows once again. She crosses paths with Father Tedeschi during the proceedings, the very person who first suggested she enter the convent. During the ceremony, Cardinal Franco leads her through the vows, officially declaring her a nun. Later, Cecilia converses with Father Tedeschi, who expresses his love for being at the convent. Cecilia shares her past with him. At 12, she had a near-death experience when she fell through the ice on a lake. She was pronounced dead for 7 minutes but survived. Cecilia is grateful to God for granting her a second chance at life, so when Father Tedeschi asked her to join the Italian convent, she eagerly accepted. In the bathroom after the ceremony, Cecilia hears someone sobbing. Following the sound, she finds a nun praying on the floor. Cecilia offers comfort, but when the nun turns around, her face is missing, causing fear. Then, the Reverend Mother emerges and leads Cecilia to the altar. There, she presents Cecilia with a nail from a glass box, claiming it belongs to Jesus' cross. Cecilia is shown the Reverend Mother's hand, which symbolizes her forgiveness for past wrongdoings, disturbing Cecilia and causing her to faint. Upon awakening, Cecilia tries to confess her sins to the cardinal, but he remains silent despite her pleas. Suddenly, multiple arms grab her from behind, and hooded figures surround her. One stabs her in the chest, and their hands touch her face, jolting her awake from the nightmare. Cecilia notices a figure at the door, slowly approaching, but when she turns on the light for a clearer view, no one is there. At breakfast, the Reverend Mother speaks to everyone except for Cecilia and Gwen, who were caught giggling. She scolds them. The young nuns get acquainted with the convent's daily activities, and working together, Cecilia and Gwen find joy in each other's company. They help take care of an elderly nun until she passes away. Later, Cecilia sees Sister Isabel staring at her, but when a white sheet blocks her view for a moment, Isabel disappears. As Cecilia is about to fall asleep, an older nun suddenly cuts her hair. Confused but compliant, Cecilia follows the older nun to the clinic, where the sick nuns are cared for. Before leaving, Cecilia notices a cross-shaped scar on the nun's feet. The next day, the young nuns take a communal bath, and Gwen shares her story of joining the convent. Gwen had lived with an abusive ex-partner, and after standing up for herself, she sought refuge with the nuns, even though her faith was weaker. Cecilia listens silently but soon starts feeling ill. While waiting for her checkup results, Cecilia sees a figure outside. Startled, a bird suddenly lands in front of her. Cecilia is summoned to the cardinal's office for questioning before entering the convent. The cardinal asks if she violated her vows, which she denies. Father Tedeschi inquires about her past experiences with men, but Cecilia, though innocent, denies having ever been in a relationship or losing her virginity. During her examination, the doctor reveals shocking news: Cecilia is pregnant. The cardinal and Father Tedeschi are ecstatic, believing Cecilia is the next Virgin Mary. They hold a ceremony to celebrate the miracle given by God. Sister Isabel and Gwen appear displeased. As Cecilia enters her second trimester, strange things begin happening. She loses a tooth while vomiting, and one day, while relaxing in the bath, Isabel tries to drown her. However, Cecilia is saved by 2 younger nuns. Isabel is dragged away, shouting angrily that she should have been the one. During a checkup, Cecilia asks Father Tedeschi about Isabel's behavior. He explains that Isabel was jealous. When Cecilia requests another doctor, they make excuses to keep her from leaving. Growing cautious and suspicious of the other nuns, Cecilia walks down a hallway and sees 2 nuns staring at her through a window. Suddenly, someone jumps off the rooftop, and when Cecilia investigates, she discovers it's Isabel. Gwen warns Cecilia not to trust anyone. At Isabel's funeral, Father Tedeschi intervenes as Gwen angrily accuses the convent of being responsible for Isabel's death and Cecilia's pregnancy. Enraged, she is removed from the funeral, still yelling about the convent's leaders. One night, Cecilia sneaks into the cardinal's office and uses a knife to pry open a cabinet. She finds a folder filled with articles about an accident she narrowly survived. Suddenly, she hears a scream and traces it to a room where she finds a nun without a face cutting off Gwen's tongue. Cecilia retreats, frightened, and a frail nun quietly muffles her scream, passing her across wrapped in hair. Cecilia begs for help, but the nun ominously warns that no one escapes the convent. The next day, Cecilia's scream shocks everyone, including Father Tedeschi, who rushes to her room. She begs to be taken to the hospital, as she is bleeding. However, a nurse praying in Cecilia's room smells something strange and finds a bag filled with chicken blood under her bed. On the way to the hospital, Father Tedeschi gets a call, learning that Cecilia staged the miscarriage as an escape plan. Despite her efforts to flee, Cecilia is caught by Father Tedeschi and returned to the convent. A senior nun bathes Cecilia forcefully, scolding her for trying to escape. When Cecilia talks back, the nun slaps her. Father Tedeschi restrains Cecilia in a wheelchair and reveals the nail from the box. Before becoming a priest, he was a geneticist who extracted DNA from the nail to create a new Jesus. After 20 years, they succeeded in creating another Virgin Mary, and she would give birth to the new Jesus. In the basement, Father Tedeschi shows Cecilia jars with the preserved fuses. He then burns a cross-shaped mark into her feet while Deacon holds her leg. Cecilia is confined to a room to prevent further escape attempts. Tearfully, she speaks to the cardinal, removing a nail from her finger. In her third trimester, the doctor examines her baby one last time before leaving her with the Reverend Mother. Seizing the opportunity, Cecilia grabs a crucifix and fatally strikes the Reverend Mother. She sneaks out of the room, her water breaking. Cecilia surprises the cardinal, strangling him with her rosary, causing his death. Dr. Gallo sees her but flees in fear. Cecilia heads to the basement and drenches Father Tedeschi's lab with ethanol, setting it on fire. When Father Tedeschi tries to stop her, she hits him with a flask and runs. He grabs her hair as she tries to escape, but she lights her lighter and throws it, setting both him and the lab ablaze. He bursts through the door, saving himself. Cecilia descends into the catacombs beneath the convent, running frantically for an exit. She hears a voice and turns on the lights, discovering Gwen's mutilated body. Desperate, she finds daylight shining through a hole just big enough to crawl through. Before she can escape, Father Tedeschi catches her and begins chanting rituals while cutting her belly to retrieve the baby. Despite her agony, Cecilia stabs him in the neck with the crucifixion nail, killing him. Cecilia crawls through the hole, emerging outside. Kneeling, she screams as she gives birth to her baby. Terrified by its monstrous appearance and inhuman sounds, she grabs a rock and uses her teeth to cut the umbilical cord. With a cry of despair, she uses the rock to fatally strike her own child, marking the end of the story. Did you enjoy the recap? Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to be updated next time we drop. Thanks for watching.